Hi and welcome back to another AnyRPG Development Livestream. In these videos I livestream the development of the AnyRPG Engine, a free and open source role-playing game engine designed in Unity and written in C#. If you don't already have a copy of AnyRPG, you can pick one up from anyrpg.org/downloads in both Unity package and source code format. You can also find free copies of the games that I'm working on at the same page. In this episode, we'll be adding a new dungeon to the game, and this dungeon will be called the Temple of Ancient Energy, and we'll be making it entirely from free assets. For the main dungeon itself, the actual level, we'll be using the Cartoon Temple Building Kit Lite free asset by A3D, available on the Unity Asset Store. And this building kit is just absolutely amazing because it comes with just a huge variety of prefabs, as well as basically prefabricated example scenes and levels. For the background music, we'll be using once again this Araya Soundscapes sampler by Chris Onyak, which I've featured in quite a few episodes because there's just so many amazing songs in here. And for this episode, we'll be using Night Ambush. We'll be using the mechs again from the 3D Game Kit character pack put out by Unity Technologies, and this time we'll have a hostile Luna mech with a red eye instead of the blue or yellow versions that we've seen so far, and he'll be the final boss in our dungeon. For the dungeon mobs, we'll be using the free Fantasy Spider by Calamona, and this is just a really cool looking spider that comes with a good deal of animations. And then we'll also be using this cute little chibi mummy by Ricochet because he also comes with a lot of animations. So let's get started. I have already imported all of these assets into my game here, and I'll just show you the example scene we'll be using. This is from the Cartoon Dungeon Kit, and you can see just this humongous amount of models here, like all the staircases and walls and doors and portals and lights and just like everything, even plants and stuff. And it comes with a bunch of example scenes, ranging in simplicity from really simple, like this, to this complete dungeon scene right here, basically. So if you look at it, you can pretty much bring your character in right here. Just consider this like the main entrance, and then he's got a hallway that he can walk down here that looks pretty cool. And then we've got this room over here, and then another sort of hallway that you can walk down here, and then the final room for now. And I'll just start with this simple one. I'll probably be expanding this over time, using lots of these different example rooms and such that are available in here. But for now, just to keep this short, we'll just be using example scene 3. So I've just duplicated example scene 3, and I've called it the Temple of Ancient Energy here. And what I want to do is I'm actually just going to pull this up because I made this a long time ago, so I'm going to pull it up into the new structure here. So we've got this scenes folder, and I'm just going to pull this scene folder into the scenes folder here. And then I'm going to rename it to Temple of Ancient Energy. And let's just double click on that to open it up. I've already put a default spawn location in right here, so when your character comes in, he'll be in this door right here. Okay, and so now we need a way basically to teleport into this dungeon, and we need to give it the background music. So for that, we need a scene node, and I've actually created a scene node already here called Temple of Ancient Energy, and we just need to give it some background music. So the background music that we will be using, let's just go find that. This is from the Anya background music, and I think it's this Night Ambush one. Alright, that's about right. That's nice, sort of cool for this this little dungeon here. It's going to provide a really nice ambiance, so we'll make a audio profile for that. To do that, we'll go into the audio profile here, and under music, we don't have a night ambush yet, so just create AnyRPG audio profile and call it night ambush. Set the resource name to night ambush and set the audio clip to night ambush, and one of these is an OGG. We'll use the OGG version of it, and then we can go back to the Temple of Ancient Energy scene node and set the background music to night ambush. Now we need a way to teleport to it. I've actually just created one of those already. So we've got a teleport Temple of Ancient Energy spell, and this is the slow version. So we'll need to make an instant cast version of it, and then it has the teleport Temple of Ancient Energy effect, which is a teleport effect, and the level name is Temple of Ancient Energy. So that's good. So what we'll do is just Control D to duplicate the teleport Temple of Ancient Energy, and this one, it's going to be an instant cast, so I'm going to call it teleport Temple of Ancient Energy instant. We'll remove the resource description from it. We'll remove the holdable objects. It's an instant cast, we don't need anything. We will remove the animation profile because it's instant. It's usable without learning, which is correct. It doesn't use an animation cast time, and the ability casting time is 0, which makes it instant. It doesn't require any sort of target. Don't need to add it to the bars because it's basically a hidden ability that will be triggered by walking into a portal. So let's save that, and we'll go make the portal now. The portal to this level will be found in the Mana Seal scene. So we'll double click on Mana Seal here, and we'll put it down by the discharged Lunamech here. So underground, when we get to this Lunamech and finish our quest, we can put in a door to the temple right here. So let's go ahead and do that. To do that, we'll go find an appropriate prefab. So I'll create a new empty to hold it here, and this empty will just be called Temple Portal. We'll go down to where I've imported it, and there are a bunch of doors, gates, and hallway prefabs. Let's just find a nice short one that will hopefully fit nicely in this level. Gate 4 looks okay. Except for that appears to be massively humongous. So maybe gate 4 is not such a fantastic idea. Let's take a look at gate 1 maybe. These are all pretty large. I wasn't really expecting them to be that large because in the Temple of Ancient Energy they really aren't. They're actually pretty tiny. I just want to see if the Temple of Ancient Energy has like maybe some scale on those things. So let's just hit F over here. looks like it doesn't. Maybe they're just really are that huge by default. That's fine. We can actually, it's no problem basically just to scale those things down. So that's what we'll do then. We'll just scale them down. I thought maybe they were internally scaling them down, but they're not. Okay, so we'll go back to the mana seal. And go back down to our discharged Lunamech unit down here. And we'll put the door to the Temple of Ancient Energy right against that wall right there. So I think gate 4 should be okay. We'll pull gate 4 into here. And middle click right there. Click on gate 4, Control Alt F to move it into place. And let's just set the scale to like 0.25 on everything. That looks pretty good. Oops. Oh, Z is 0, that's why. Okay. We'll spin that around a little bit here. Okay. I'm happy with that. We won't see that through the floor. It's about tall enough our character can walk through it. Yeah, it looks good. Alright, now let's put an actual portal in there. Actually, you know what? I think I need to move it back just a little bit. So just pull it back till it starts to sort of melt into the wall there. And then maybe spin it a little bit so that it's a little more evenly distributed. Pull it out a little bit there. Alright, that's not bad. Maybe we'll want to just spin that a tiny little bit more that way, and then the sides will be even. There should be the same amount of space on either side of those designs. Perfect. Okay. So now let's stick a portal in here. So we have, I think I called it energy wall. No. Let's look for the portals here. AnyRPG energy portal. I think this is the one. No. Magic wall portal. That's what it is. Okay. This is the magic wall portal. That's what we want to pull into there. So we'll grab a magic wall portal, close up this built-in right here, and drag the magic wall portal into the scene as well. Middle click on the ground right here, Control Alt F to move the magic wall portal into place. Then we'll hit W to spin it around a little bit. And then we're going to want to change the size on that. So let's drag it out this way a little bit more. Okay, good. And then we'll unpack that prefab. And then we'll take the portal here and we'll shrink it to like 2 on the X because we just want it to be inside of the door here. And that looks pretty good. When we walk into that, we will teleport. For the magic wall, it's way too wide, so we'll want to shrink that down. So we can see it's got a radius setting under shape here. We'll change that radius from 4 to like 2. Nope, maybe even 1. Okay, and we'll actually want to move this down a little bit. So the magic wall is floating up too high. So let's move it down more towards the ground here. And that looks okay. What we'll want to do is go into the emission, because now there's too many of them for how small it is. So let's change that to like 10. And that's not bad. Yeah, I think that'll do for now. Okay, so now we've got our portal. So what we want to do is on the actual portal itself here, this is going to say travel to, actually, you know what? It's just going to say the Temple of Ancient, or Temple of Ancient Energy. The ability name is going to be Teleport Temple of Ancient Energy Instant. The interactable name will just be Temple of Ancient Energy. It doesn't glow on mouse over, it is a trigger. The box collider has trigger set. So that looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. We'll save that and let's try it out. So go to our load game manager. Press play. Actually, the one thing that I think I forgot to do, I don't think I added that to the build settings yet. So let's just go to the build settings, and I've added the Temple of Ancient Energy before, so I think it's already on this list somewhere. You know what? I don't even see it. Okay, let's just go into the thing then and actually make sure we add that to the build settings. So File, Build Settings, Add Open Scenes. Okay, it is in there. Somewhere. Right there. Okay, good. So I'm just going to drag that up to the top so it's with all the other ones that are in the build settings. And we can save that and now go back to the load game manager and press play. I've got a tester here in the mana seal somewhere. I think he's okay, I have to actually go down to the basement here. So we'll accept this quest to go find the Luna mech, and we'll just go run around until we find it. There, it's down there. So we'll head down the stairs. And let's save the game. And now we've got this portal in here with this cool light, so we'll walk into it. And our character has now appeared in the dungeon. We can wander up the stairs here. Okay, and this is why those gates looked so big. I didn't realize how tall they were. These things are like 8 meters tall. My character looks like a dwarf in here practically. I guess it's kind of cool actually because it gives like this giant temple effect. And this whole giant thing, it actually works better for dungeons because basically if you imagine there's like 5 people in here, a hallway that's the same size as your character would look a little bit funny, but but a hallway this wide, you can have like 5 people run down comfortably. Now there's some issues. You can see basically I just like fell through the ground there, and my character is just going to keep on falling. And that's because some of the stuff in this level doesn't have colliders on it by default. So let's go fix the collider situation. So we'll go to the Temple of Ancient Energy, and it's this stuff in here basically that doesn't have colliders on them. So let's go see what this is here. So this is like a platform ferns, and you can see it's got a renderer but no collider. I'm just going to select this, and basically what I want to do is add mesh colliders to like everything in here pretty much. Let's just open up the prefab and weird, it doesn't want to open up the prefab. Cannot switch to new stage, prefab act set does not exist. Okay, that's like an extremely odd message. Anyway, let's just take all those and go add component, mesh collider. Okay, good. And then let's take a look at this. This is a block. Let's select the blocks. I don't think any of the blocks have mesh colliders on them by default either. So we'll add the mesh collider component to them. Let's see this floor right here. I also fell through that, and that's a ground. Okay, good. And the ground actually does have mesh colliders on them. I think I might have actually added those mesh colliders myself. So let's just select the ground. Yeah, I think I added those to the ones in the scene, but what I should have done is actually went in and added mesh colliders to all of these. So we're going to add mesh colliders. And actually, we might as well do that to these ones as well. And then all these ones should get mesh colliders too. And then we'll put some mesh colliders on those. And on those. And, you know, we might as well just add them to everything. Because for the most part, everything in this level we should be colliding with. There isn't really a reason to not collide with anything. I think, okay, good, I already put them on those blocks. And then, let's see, none of these have it, so we'll add them to those as well. It's just amazing how many prefabs there are in this pack. Like, I mean, you could build so many completely unique and different dungeons out of this set. It's just awesome. So we got these idols. Might as well add some mesh colliders to those. I'm not going to bother so much with these things. Or with the plants. As far as I'm concerned, we can walk through plants. We'll add them to these hallways though. And we already did the ground prefabs. We haven't added them to these ones, so add mesh colliders to those. Add them to these as well. Add them to the ground stone tiles. Might as well add them to these ground X ones too. And then all those ones. And all those ones. And all those as well. I don't think we need to add them to the example pieced ones because those ones are already made up of pieces that should themselves have the colliders on them. And I already added it to those, I think. And we'll want to add it to the stairs as well. And then to these round pieces. And then to the zigzags. We'll need to put them on the single cubes as well. And on the square holes too. And finally on all the wall tiles. Okay, good. So now hopefully we've got colliders everywhere. Let's save this, and then I want to click on this and there's a collider, and click on this, we got colliders. Alright, good. So let's take another run through the dungeon and just make sure that we can actually run around in it. So I'm just going to save everything and then press play, load our load game manager up. Okay, so we have the quest, basically to go through here, head into the dungeon here, and I'm going to hit save game this time, and let's take a run through everything. It's funny because, I mean, the dungeon's only like 3 rooms, but it actually looks pretty huge once you get inside it and start running around. So there we go, that's a lot better. Now my character is totally not falling through the ground. I'm going to have to put like some stairs up out of there because you could totally get stuck down there. And then This is good. We can run down the hallway here, and we can make it to the end and get to this final room. Man, this set is just amazing. I can't believe this is free. It's so good. It's just completely gorgeous. So, okay, cool. So we'll have the final boss hanging out in this room back here. This room is a lot bigger than it looks, so it's actually big enough for a final boss fight. And then we're going to line like some spiders and mummies and stuff down here. So let's start making those units. I already actually have a hostile Lunamech unit, but we have to go make some changes to it. So I created the hostile Lunamech unit in the last episode, the Make the Mana Seal Zone Music and Quests episode. So we have the hostile Lunamech model. Let's open up that prefab and just take a look at it. So because he's hostile, I want him to have a red eye and a red sphere instead of a blue one. So the way that we do that, we look at the Grenadier, and there's a Grenadier core and a Grenadier eye mat. In this folder, I've already created some yellow versions of those, so we're just going to duplicate the yellow versions, and we're going to make red versions of them. So I'll rename this to red, rename this one to red, and then change the colors on them. So pop that over to the red spectrum, which looks awfully pink in HDR. 19170, and then color 2, same somewhere over here, middle of the red spectrum. That looks pretty good. And then we'll do the same thing for this one. So pull that over to somewhere in the red spectrum, and then pull that over to somewhere in the red spectrum over there. Alright, good. And now we have the core. Whoops, you know what? I did the wrong one. That wasn't supposed to be the yellow one. There, that's better. Okay, so you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to copy that color. We're going to go into this red one right here, and I'm just going to paste that color there. Alright, and that looks good. So now we have the core and the eye. So now what we need to do is actually go to the hostile Lunamech, and over here for core, we want to choose the red core, and for eye, we want to choose the Grenadier red eye. Alright, awesome. So now we have this nice hostile Lunamech, but our hostile Lunamech doesn't have the ability to attack yet because we haven't actually created any attack moves for him. So let's go and do that. So if we go to the hostile Lunamech unit here, taking a look at him, he looks pretty good. And he has a bunch of animations that come with his model. So we'll actually go take a look at those right now. So he's got a melee attack here. We'll go to the animation tab and just look at that. So that's a punch. And then he's got a close range attack, which is also a spinning punch. Then he's got a ranged attack. And we could make that like shooting a laser beam or something. And then he's got a second ranged attack. And this is actually one where he launches like a missile. I don't know, I'll figure out something for that, but for now we can just use the 2 melees and the 1 ranged attack basically. Alright, so to do that we need to actually make attacks for him. We'll make one of them into basically an auto attack. So that'll be the regular melee attack, will be the auto attack. So to do that, we'll want to actually make a folder with all of his attack moves and the animation profiles for them. So under our resources folder, we have let's see, it's actually under the shared resources folder, and we've got base abilities and animated attacks, and we've got an AI folder here, and this is where we're storing all of our other AI attacks. So this is the right place for it. So I'm just going to hit Control D to duplicate any old attack. I'm choosing this one because it's an auto attack, which is what we want to create. So this is just animated ability. We're going to call this Lunamech attack and change the name to Lunamech attack, and then in here just call it Lunamech attack. There will be no weapon affinities because our guy doesn't have a weapon. The animation profile name is going to be Lunamech attack, and we'll go create that afterwards. We'll be using the animation cast time for it. It requires a target. Live target has to be an enemy, uses melee range, and the ability effect is going to be Lunamech attack, and we'll go create that as well. And this is indeed an auto attack. So we need to create the animation profile and the ability effect. To do that, I'll just type in skeleton warrior attack, which is what we copied this from. This is the skeleton warrior animation profile. We'll just duplicate that and call this one Lunamech attack. Then we also need the attack effect, which is right here. I'll just duplicate that skeleton warrior attack, and we'll rename that one to Lunamech attack. This is the component that does the damage. Now I can just type in Lunamech attack, find all the parts of that. For the animation profile here, we'll want to choose the animation clip, and let's just go find that and we'll pull it in. I'm going to just lock the inspector so I don't accidentally remove that. Go to the animation clips, open up Grenadier melee attack, and pull it in. We'll unlock that, go to the Grenadier melee attack, and we need to add a hit event so it knows when to do damage. So he hits right there. So what we'll do is we'll go down to the events, and actually, you know what, it looks like I start attack, interesting. This is hit. Oh, you know what? No, Control Z. These are events that are actually in the animations by default. End attack. Huh. Okay. I'm actually just going to remove these. And actually, for this one, hit is fine. Apply. Let's just make sure that's at the right spot. No, I need to move that forward to about there. Perfect, okay, and we'll apply that, and now he'll have a hit event properly. We'll want to bake in pretty much everything. Good. And then next up, we'll want to do the close range attack. So on the close range attack, let's just go make sure there's some hit events on that one as well. He's got start attack and end attack here. Once again, we're just going to remove those two events, and boom, we'll do a hit right there. let's see, when he spins around, he doesn't do a second hit? No, it's just a single hit. Okay, good, so we'll just apply that. And then for our Grenadier range attack, we want him to basically do the zap right here. So I'm going to move this. Oh, interesting. Activate shield. Okay, so this is apparently his activate shield attack on the original one. For us, though, is just going to be hit. We'll apply that, and he'll do his hit partway through that. Good. So now what we want to do is actually just bake everything into those. For the close range attack, we'll want to bake everything into those. Alright, and the melee attack, they're all baked in. Perfect. And actually, I think we need to bake them in for everything, including his death. And for the walk, we'll want to bake in his rotation and Y position, but not his XZ. And for the walk fast, same thing, we'll bake those in. And then let's just make sure his idle is looping, loop time and loop pose. And apply that. Okay, I think that's good. So now we can go back to the Lunamech attack. It's got the Grenadier melee attack. We need to change this name to Lunamech attack. Then in the animated ability, looks okay. And then for the attack effect, this is going to be Lunamech attack. Requires a target, live target, enemy, has to be melee range. I'm not going to bother with take damage blood. We don't need any blood when we perform a hit. And it's going to do a health amount with physical damage. Alright, that looks pretty good. And then next I want to make an animated ability called Lunamech spin attack. So I'm just going to duplicate the regular Lunamech attack and call this Lunamech spin attack. Change this up here to Lunamech spin attack. Change this to Lunamech spin attack. Change the animation profile to Lunamech spin attack. It is not an auto attack, and it will do Lunamech spin attack as its ability. It is melee range, so now we'll want to make the attack effect for it. So we'll Control D to duplicate the regular Lunamech attack, and this one will be the Lunamech spin attack, and change the name to Lunamech spin attack. And under the effect, it'll do extra damage, so the health base amount, it'll do like, I don't know, 50 basically. We'll want to give it a little bit of a cooldown, so somewhere in here we have, right, it's actually the Lunamech spin attack ability that has the cooldown. So let's make the animation profile first. We'll Control D to duplicate the regular Lunamech attack. We will call it the Lunamech spin attack. Set the name to Lunamech spin attack. Set the animation clip to Grenadier close range attack. And then let's just make sure that those are all hooked up properly. So we start with the animated ability. It does Lunamech spin attack ability effect, perfect. And these are both called Lunamech spin attack animation profile and effect. Good, so now we have two of his moves, and we need the third move, which is going to be the Lunamech laser attack. So For the laser attack, we already have an attack that basically does exactly what we want in the form of a lightning tether attack. So let's see if I've given that to any of my units yet. I don't think any of these units have it. No, okay. So we'll have to make one. I'll just find a lightning tether. Barbarian lightning tether channel. That's actually perfect. This is an effect that's definitely under the AI folder. For Barbarian Lightning Tether channel, we'll just duplicate that, and we will call it Luna Mech Laser Channel. Luna Mech Laser Channel. The resource description, it doesn't need one. Has to be a live enemy target. Max range of 40 looks okay. For the hit ability effect, it'll be Luna Mech Laser Attack. For the prefab name, it'll just be Red Laser. And everything else looks okay. I'll look for the lightning tether attack, which is the effect that we would normally get. We'll duplicate that and we'll call this the Luna Mech Laser Attack. Change the name here to Luna Mech Laser Attack. Doesn't need a resource description. Everything else is okay. There will be no ability effects on hit, and damage type is ability, health amount, 5 base health plus spell damage basically, 40 yard max range, so everything looks okay there. And then we need to actually do the animated ability that triggers this, so let's see what I called that. I think I called it Barbarian Lightning Bolt. Does a Barbarian Lightning Tether channel. Perfect. So what we'll do is we'll just copy that. So Control D to duplicate the Barbarian Lightning Bolt. And this one will be called Luna Mech Laser. Set the animated ability to Luna Mech Laser. Description as Luna Mech Laser. Generic sword is fine. Animation profile will be Luna Mech Laser Attack. Animation cast time. Live target is correct. Max range of 40 is correct. It will cast the Luna Mech Laser channel. And that looks good. Now we just need to actually make the Luna Mech Laser Attack animation profile. So I'll just go to the Barbarian Lightning Bolt animation profile. We will duplicate that, Control D to duplicate it and call it the LunaMech laser attack animation profile. And change the name up here to LunaMech laser attack. The animation clip will be Grenadier range attack. Everything else looks good. Now we just need to make a laser. So we have a yellow laser, which is a prefab profile. We have a yellow laser mech, which is a prefab profile. We want the yellow laser mech because our mechs can already shoot yellow lasers. We're just going to make a red laser now. So I'm just actually going to name this red laser because we don't have any other red lasers, and I think that's what I already called it when I referred to it in the channeled ability. We have a cylinder yellow. We're going to need to make a cylinder red laser. So I'm going to Control D to duplicate the cylinder yellow laser. I'm going to call it AnyRPG cylinder red laser. We have a yellow glow material. I'll Control D to duplicate that. This is just a regular Unity material with HDR enabled, so we'll call this one glow red material. I'll set the color to red. We'll set the emission color to red. That looks pretty good. So now we'll go back to the red laser and set that to where's glow material red? Glow red material. Glow red material. Okay, good. So now our LunaMech has a red laser that glows that he can shoot. Putting all that together, let's just make sure that we have everything in place. We have an animated ability called LunaMech laser, which has animation profile, LunaMech laser attack, which does Grenadier ranged attack. When it hits, it does LunaMech laser channel. LunaMech laser channel on hit does LunaMech laser attack and fires red laser. This all looks good. Now we need to actually give these abilities to the LunaMech. So we have a hostile LunaMech unit profile. In his learned ability names, he will have 3 of them. LunaMech attack, LunaMech spin attack, and LunaMech laser. I'm actually going to call this one LunaMech laser attack, just to be consistent. Okay. We want his we want him to be an extra tough unit, so I don't think I have a toughness less than 5-man right now. Let me just confirm that. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is under unit toughnesses, I'm going to hit Control D to duplicate that. And I'm just going to make a new unit toughness called 2-man. Set the resource name to 2-man. The health stamina multiplier will be 2, strength 2, everything else 1, health and mana is 1, and all other stats 2. Okay, that looks good. This unit will be double toughness, and then we'll want to add that to him. So under the hostile Lunamech unit, we'll find his toughness, and actually we'll want to give him a combat strategy as well. So we'll make a Lunamech combat strategy, because this will be potentially a multi-phase boss fight. Toughness right here is where we're going to enter that 2-man. Okay. Let's make the Lunamech combat strategy. So a multi-phase strategy that we already have is the Earthborn Troll. So let's just go look for his combat strategy. I'm going to hit Control D to duplicate that. We'll call it Lunamech. And it'll have 2 phase nodes. We're not going to bother with phase music profile yet. What we'll do is from 100 to 0, he will cast Lunamech attack and Lunamech spin attack, and from 50 to 0, he will cast Lunamech laser attack. So he'll start shooting lasers at 50% health. Alright, I think that's okay. Now we need to actually put him in the dungeon, and we want him to spawn in at a dynamic level. So I can't remember, I might have created a Temple of Ancient Energy spawner already. I have this under unit spawners. So this Temple of Ancient Energy spawner, I'm just going to duplicate it. I'm going to call this the hostile Lunamech spawner. And it doesn't have spawn prefabs, it has Luna or unit profiles. So the unit profile will be hostile Lunamech, its dynamic level, and max units of 1. Everything else looks okay. So now let's go place this in the level. So we'll go to the Temple of Ancient Energy level, and then we'll go into the boss room and spawn it over, or put him over here in the corner. I'm just going to middle click on the ground right there, and now we'll go grab the hostile Lunamech spawner and just Control Alt F to move it over where I clicked it. Let's just click on navigation. Looks good. We already have a nav mesh, so our unit will be able to move around the room and fight with us. Okay, good. So then let's save that, and actually these little bricks right here, they're poking through, but I think the nav mesh actually goes through them. So yeah, okay, good. So our unit will be able to move over these, so that's fine. Okay. Let's test all that stuff out, because we just did a lot of stuff on that LunaMech, and I just want to see if any of it works. So we'll go back to the load game manager here, and let's go into the console and press play. And we'll load up our tester here. Just going to cast Blessing of the Makers to make myself run a little bit faster. And we'll head back to the back room of the dungeon here and see if our LunaMech is spawned. Make sure that he's the same level as us, so level 12. Okay, good. We've got a LunaMech. We need to actually change his name to Hostile LunaMech, but that's okay. He's coming over to us. He's going to hit us. It's not a very hard hit. It looks like for some reason the hit event isn't working in the main animation. Now, let's try to drop him down to 50% and see if we can make him start shooting lasers at us. There we go. He shot a yellow laser instead of a red laser, but that's cool. At least the laser attacks are working. And I think I don't want the damage to be delayed. I want the damage to happen basically as soon as he hits us. So if we can fix those two problems, that'll be pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to save my character in the hallway here, so I'm nice and close to him. And we'll pop out and just go fix those two issues. So the LunaMech laser attack, LunaMech laser channel is casting the red laser. I'm going to set the effect delay to 0. I want to see the damage the minute that the laser comes off. And I think actually in the red laser, I just have to set the right prefab here. So I have cylinder yellow laser, and I should just change that to cylinder red laser. Now let's go look at the Grenadier melee attack, because this one for some reason didn't seem to actually be triggering a hit. That's really odd. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete that animation event. I'm going to apply that, and I'm just going to put a new one in there. So call that hit and apply. And then let's load up the game again. That's really interesting. I feel like, what's going on with that? Let's look at that LunaMech attack, and the LunaMech attack does the LunaMech attack animation profile. The LunaMech attack animation profile does Grenadier melee attack. And the Grenadier melee attack has a hit event. So let's see, ability effect, Lunamech attack. It is an auto attack. Target, live target, enemy, use melee range. Those are all correct. Target, live target, enemy, use melee range. Also all correct. This might have to do with the fact I possibly didn't give our Grenadier a character class, so he actually doesn't have strength. Let's just confirm that. If I go to the hostile Lunamech unit, I'm just going to change the character name to hostile Lunamech, and I'm going to change his character class name to warrior. I think that might be why he wasn't doing damage, because channelers don't get any extra damage from their strength. Let's press play and try that again. Good, now he says hostile Lunamech. Alright, good, now he's doing damage. Okay, cool, yeah, basically the problem was he just had no strength, so he couldn't really do anything. Okay, excellent. Now both of those attacks are working. I'm gonna one-shot him apparently. I hit him way too hard. Okay, let's just try meleeing him so I don't accidentally kill him in one shot. I want to see him get to 50%. Just gonna hit him with Blinding Ray. Perfect. And okay, he's blind. He's not hitting me with a laser because he's blind, but perfect. Okay, awesome. He shoots the red laser out. The laser basically comes out of his center there, out of his orb, hits me, does damage at the minute that it hits. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. So our Lunamech is now good, and now we just need to basically do the mummy and the spider. This guy will eventually follow me if I run out of range. Okay, cool. So let's do the mummy and the spider. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just check to make sure the mummy is the right size. So we're going to go into the Temple of Ancient Energy level zone here. Load up the zone. Go to the scene here, and let's just go pull a mummy into this room to get a sense of scale, because if I recall correctly, when I imported this mummy, he was 10 times as tall as he should have been. So I've got him under the chibi mummy right here. There's a demo scene, actually, we need to go in and we need to make a prefab out of him. So if we hit F, we can focus on him. We can see we've got a mummy character. There were no other prefabs that had the materials applied, so we're just going to pull this guy out, make a prefab out of him. Okay, and now we'll look at that prefab, and we want to pull it into our scene and just make sure he's in okay size. So to do that, we'll go back to the Temple of Ancient Energy. Don't save this scene. Grab our mummy here. And we'll just pull him in. So he is really, really tiny. I mean, my character's a little small, but this guy's like ridiculously small. I think I would like to make him maybe about twice as tall. So he'll be about as tall as my character. So what I want to do for that then basically is I want to go back into the demo scene where this thing came from. I'm not going to save anything here. I'm going to hit F to focus on the mummy character here, and we've got the mummy rig, the mummy LP, so it's actually the mummy rig that's the character. The mummy character down here really isn't a character. So what we want to do with this mummy rig is we just want to set the scale to 2, 2, and 2, and then let's pull him off and make a original prefab out of him. Actually, yeah, that's exactly what we want to do. We want to make an original prefab out of him. Okay, now we want to go back to the model, the mummy rig right here. And we want to set a scale factor of 2. In fact, we want to set a scale factor of 2 on all these animations as well, so that the animations match with the unit scale. Let's just go pull this new mummy rig into our level and just make sure that it's the correct size. So to do that, we'll jump back into the Temple of Ancient Energy. Pull the mummy rig in. There we go, and that looks a lot better. Now he'll be sort of like big and scary pretty much. Okay, perfect. So now we can actually make a unit out of him. So to do that, we can pretty much just copy any unit. So we just happen to have a hostile unit right here in our hostile Lunamech unit. I'm going to hit Control D to duplicate. And I'm going to call this the Ancient Mummy unit. I'm going to open up his prefab, remove the hostile Lunamech model, pull in our mummy rig. Let's actually just look at this capsule collider here for a second. You know what? Actually, I think I'm going to go with a regular size mummy. If we set the scale factor down here to 1 and we look at the capsule collider, he's like a meter tall, which is actually pretty good. So let's rename mummy rig to Ancient Mummy Model. Scale it down to 1. Go back to all the mummy stuff here and scale all these down to 1 as well. I don't know why he looked like really tiny in the level, but I think I've just got confused by like how big the scale of the thing was. Okay, good. So everything is 1, scale is 1, our mummy is going to be 1. Okay, so I'm going back in here. We're just going to change that name to Ancient Mummy Model for consistency, and we'll remove that component there, apply that to the Ancient Mummy Model. We need to add a character animation event receiver, apply that to the model, and drag the unit onto there. Then for Ancient Mummy unit, we'll need to set a couple of things. So he doesn't have a toughness of 2-man. He has a combat strategy, we'll make one for it, and his character name is Ancient Mummy. His faction name will be Undead. He will be a warrior. His unit profile name will be Ancient Mummy. The player preview initial offset will be Y value 0.5. The unit frame target, let's just see if he has a head. He doesn't have a head, so what we want to do is go into his model here and try to figure out what bone his head is on. So the closest thing he has to a head is actually this neck right here, which is a really interesting one. So I'm just going to Control C for that, and that'll be our unit frame target. And we'll set a Z value of 1 at it since Z was forward. So going down to our unit frame here, set bind neck 0,1, Z value of 1 is fine. Okay, good. And his nameplate is too high, so we're going to lower his nameplate, put it right above his head there, and then drag that into the nameplate transform so it shows up at the right spot above his character. For the default animation profile, we'll have to go in and create one for him. So let's go ahead and create the animation profile for him. To do that, we'll go find some animation profiles. This LunaMech one looks okay. We'll create a new AnyRPG animation profile. Call this Ancient Mummy. Set the name to Ancient Mummy. And then we'll go find the mummy's animations here. We can close up the Guardian here, look for the mummy, and then he's got his mummy animations here. So he's got a bunch of them. We'll put in idle 0,1 into the idle clip, and we'll put in idle 0,2 into the combat idle clip. Under the take damage clips, we'll set 2 of them, and we will pull in, oh, you know what, he only needs one. Take damage clip is this hit one right here, so we'll pull that into the take damage clip, and then we'll just give him a single death animation because I don't have the ability to do multiple death animations, so pull die 0,1 into the death animation. Then we need basically walk and run, and he's got a crippled walk. I think actually what we'll do is move forward clip can be crippled walk, and combat move forward clip can be walk, and then combat move forward fast clip can be run. And actually, oh, there's the other take damage. So that second take damage hit will give him take damage. Okay, so it looks like for attacks, he's got an attack and a low kick. Let's just go look at those animations. Wow, that's a really stiff animation. Let's look at the crippled walk. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, and I want to see the hit. Oh, you know what? Hit is an attack too. Okay. Usually hit is a take damage one, so basically attack will be this double attack. Hit will be this attack over here, and then low kick will be the third attack. Now, It's awfully interesting that he's kicking backwards there. Let's bake all this stuff into the pose and hit apply. He's still kicking backwards, which is really odd. I think it's supposed to be a forward kick, but it's not allowing me to show IK on this. We can't make him into a humanoid because he's got a generic rig. Let's go to the attack animation and then bake all this stuff in here. And then I'm going to set those to original instead of root. And let's hit play. Yeah, he's still kicking backwards, like really, really oddly. Maybe I'll just use the hit ones for now, and I'll worry about that kick one later. 2 attacks is okay. So we'll use hit, and we'll use attack. So hit will be his regular hit, and I think attack will be like a special one, because it's like a double attack. It's like he's doing like a reverse punch or something, although it's a pretty sad attack. Okay, that should be alright. Let's see. This jump one is almost like an attack too. Not quite. Okay. And this is different phases of the jump. Alright. I think that's good. Let's look at the run. It's like the oddest run animation. I think we'll want to bake both of those into the run, and we'll maybe try to loop the pose. Yeah. Alright, and for the walk, let's try looping the pose, and we want to bake both of those in as well. And for the crippled walk, we might as well bake both of those in and loop the pose as well. And then for the die, let's bake everything in, hit play, just make sure that is working. Let's take a look at die 02. I think I actually kind of like die 02 better. Yeah, I think I'll use die 02. Okay, so for our ancient mummy animation profile, for death clip, we'll go grab die 02. Alright, so now we need to make some attacks. So to do that, we'll create a unit profile for him. Call it Ancient Mummy, and he'll learn his attacks from this unit profile. So Ancient Mummy, change that to Ancient Mummy. For the unit prefab, we will use the Ancient Mummy unit. We'll give him the Ancient Mummy attack and the Ancient Mummy double attack. Those attacks will need an animation profile, an ability, and an ability effect. So I'm just going to copy all the Lunamech attack ones. Yeah, animation profile can be Ancient Mummy Attack. Change the name of the attack effect, Ancient Mummy Attack. And then change the name of the animated ability, Ancient Mummy Attack. Now we can look for the Ancient Mummy attacks. Change the name up here, and for the animation clip, the regular Ancient Mummy attack gets to pull in the Mummy hit. The Mummy hit actually needs an animation event, so we'll unlock the inspector there. We'll go down to Events. We'll make the hit right here, add an animation event, call it hit, and apply that. We'll actually want to do the same for this attack. We'll add 2 attacks in there. So first attack right there, it's kind of a little weak attack, put in hit. Second attack right there, put in an event, call it hit, and apply that. Alright, we'll go back to the Ancient Mummy attack here. It's got hit in it, which is the correct one. The attack effect, we'll need to change that to Ancient Mummy Attack. And then for the animated ability, call that Ancient Mummy Attack. Change the description to the Ancient Mummy Attack. The animation profile is Ancient Mummy Attack. And the ability effect, Ancient Mummy Attack. Let's make the Ancient Mummy double attack now. So I'll just duplicate that. Duplicate that. Duplicate that. And now rename all these ones to Ancient Mummy double attack. Change the title up here, Ancient Mummy double attack, Ancient Mummy double attack, Ancient Mummy double attack, animation profile, Ancient Mummy double attack, ability effect, Ancient Mummy double attack. Same thing, physical damage still, although we'll give it 5 extra health. And then the Ancient Mummy double attack, lock the inspector and pull in the Mummy at attack here. Okay, I think that's good. I think that'll work. So now we need an Ancient Mummy spawner. So we have, once again, the Temple of Ancient Energy spawner here, and we'll set prefabs to 0, set the unit profile names to 1 for now. Just set this to Ancient Mummy, and we'll throw a couple of these throughout the level. So let's just make sure that we actually have the unit profile. So we have the Hostile Lunamech unit profile. We have the Ancient Mummy unit profile. It calls the Ancient Mummy unit, teaches him these abilities. Looks pretty good, I think. So let's get rid of this mummy rig out of the level and throw in some of these spawners here. Actually, it looks like we already have some, so I think that's good. I'm going to get rid of these 2 unit spawn prefabs here. And now we've got Temple of Ancient Energy spawners all over the place. Okay, perfect. And these things should be randomly choosing between unit profiles. There's only one in there, so they should be spawning mummies. I think it's time to test that all out and see if I missed anything. So we'll go back to the load game manager here and press play. We'll load up the game, pop into the Temple of Ancient Energy, and I actually don't... look, they are ancient mummies. Cool. They're in kind of some weird places, and they are not attacking me, mostly because I had that buff on because of my staff. Although it also looks like potentially they don't have any attack abilities. No, okay, this guy's moving towards me. And, okay, cool. So, he's doing a ton of damage. He's just doing his regular auto attack, and he's not attempting any other attacks. So I think I may have forgotten to actually give him a combat strategy that allows him to cast both of those. So let's go give him one. If I look at the Lunamech combat strategy, it's in with the other combat strategies. Just going to Control D to duplicate, and this is going to be the Ancient Mummy combat strategy. Change the resource name to Ancient Mummy and give him a single phase node from 100 to 0. He will do Ancient Mummy attack and Ancient Mummy double attack. And let's go to the Ancient Mummy attack here, and we'll go to the ability, and we need to make sure it has an ability cooldown of at least 1 second. That will allow him to switch back and forth, hopefully, between the Ancient Mummy attack and the Ancient Mummy double attack. The other thing I noticed is that he didn't appear to be idling properly. So let's go back to the Ancient Mummy unit and just make sure that it's configured correctly. That's the problem. The default animation profile is still set to Lunamech, so this needs to be set to Ancient Mummy. Okay, good. So that will fix his, basically his attack profile, and now that he has a combat strategy, hopefully he will switch back and forth between special attack and normal attack. So let's press play and test that out. I'm going to remove this buff so that these guys can attack me as soon as I get in range. They didn't appear to be idling, and they're not casting their second attack ability. So ability not known, Ancient Mummy double attack. So let's just go back to the Ancient Mummy unit and make sure that his unit profile is set to Ancient Mummy. So, interestingly enough, he doesn't seem to be learning his second ability here, the Ancient Mummy double attack, from his unit profile. And it doesn't look like something simple like a spelling mistake. Let's just check if Ancient Mummy double attack animated ability has any like weapon affinities or any other prerequisites. It doesn't look like it. Oh, that's why. I left double or auto attack checked. You can't learn two auto attack abilities, so that's why that wasn't working. Okay, perfect. So now the last thing is their idle pose. I really wasn't happy with that, so let's go. Let's go take a look actually at their idle pose and just make sure that see what it looks like. So we'll go down to the Ancient Mummy, we'll go to the models here, and let's look at this idle. Yeah, okay, so the idle pose looks fine, there's nothing wrong with it. I want to loop the pose and maybe like bake in the positions and stuff, but there's nothing wrong with that, okay. And idle 02, and that's about right, that's our combat idle pose, it looks like. So we'll just bake in all this stuff as well. Okay, so then let's look at our Ancient Mummy unit. The default animation profile is Ancient Mummy. The idle clip looks to be the correct idle clip. I'm just going to delete that first array element because take damage was the correct clip. So what's going on with our mummies and why are they not idling correctly is a good question. Let's just go see again the Ancient Mummy unit. Let's open up his prefab here. We've got the wrong controller on it. So basically what we want to do is just set the controller to none. This might have potentially been overriding the correct controller which we would have applied to it. So let's just save that and jump into the game again. Whoops. I gotta kill this Lunamech here real quick. Blast him with a solar singe. And there we go, he's gone. Okay, good. So now let's go look at our mummies, and hopefully they're idling properly. Ooh, there we go. Yeah, good. Mummies are idling properly. Excellent. So that was the problem. We just had to have the right controller on there. He looked really funny when he was running towards me, but I think that might have just been his run animation. The great news is he appears to be doing the proper things. He has died properly. That's good. All right, awesome. Let's warm up our character a little bit with this warming ray here. I'm actually aggroed on that guy right now. I need to kill him before I can get out of combat, and I'll remember to actually remove him from that post there. Okay, there we go. That's a little better. Now I can take my sun bath, and I want to watch one of these guys run toward me. What I'm seeing right now is when they were going sideways, they weren't running properly. They run properly when facing directly towards me, but not sideways, which is kind of interesting. And that probably has something to do with the animation controller. Yeah, that's a really interesting one. Basically, because his velocity was sideways, he wasn't actually playing a forward animation. And I'm auto-rotating him towards me, basically with a nav mesh agent. So that's something I'll have to deal with at another time, but I'm pretty happy with that. We've got our mummies. Now we have one more enemy to add. We've got to add the spiders. So let's go add the spiders in. So I imported the spider into the fantasy spider folder here, and we've got this spider, my old one, so I have to make a prefab out of it. I will drag that guy. You know what? Actually, let's go into I just want to check the size on this guy first. So we're going to go into the Temple of Ancient Energy. I'm going to go into the scene view here, and I just want to see how big this spider is if I drag him into the level. So this was the spider old one, and this is a really tiny spider. It honestly looks like he's even tinier than our mummy, but you know what, we'll just try it out. You know what, I actually honestly I don't mind if it's a really tiny spider for now. We'll just work with that. So let's make a unit for him. To do that, since we know pretty much that we need all of this stuff, I'm going to duplicate the Ancient Mummy unit. I'm going to call it the Ancient Spider unit. I'm going to duplicate the Ancient Mummy animation profile, unit profile, and combat strategy. Just make all these things at the same time, and then rename this so it's Ancient Spider, Ancient Spider, Ancient Spider. And then why don't we duplicate all the attacks, because we know our Ancient Spider is going to need an attack as well. So we'll change that name to Ancient Spider Attack. Make an Ancient Spider Attack effect, and an Ancient Spider Attack animated ability. I want to go into the Ancient Spider here, and I want to see what animations he comes with. He has 2 attacks, a regular attack, and this other attack. Okay, good. So this one like hardly even looks like an attack. Oh, this is a bite. Okay, so one of these is a bite, and actually, you know what would be really, really cool? If he poisoned our character with his bite. I kind of like that idea. For now, what we should do is just make sure that the attack actually has an event attached to it. We can't add events to this because the rig is set to legacy, so we need to switch that over to generic, and let's just go back to the animations and make sure that the attacks still work as generic. They do, so that's good. And actually, you know, one cool thing about this spider here is honestly, I have no idea why he's showing up like green and blue right here. That's the weirdest thing. I don't know what Unity is doing there exactly. We could easily change the size of him if we wanted to, just because actually all of his animations are in the same place. To be totally honest, I'm kind of interested in seeing what happens if I set the... Whoa, that's huge. This guy's... No, he's way too big. Okay. Let's set 0 to 5. That's not bad, actually. I kind of like that size a little better. I think I'm going to try it like with this size. Let's just go back to the animations and make sure they're going to work. Okay, and then we look at the spider, my old one. That's good because that was made from this rig. We'll just pull that into the prefab, click on original prefab, and then we'll call this the Ancient Spider model. Okay, so now we have everything we need almost, except for our Ancient Spider needs a second attack. So the Ancient Mummy double attacks, we're going to duplicate all of those, and we're going to rename these new ones to Ancient Spider Bite Attack. So Ancient Spider Bite Attack, Ancient Spider Bite Attack, Ancient Spider Bite Attack. Perfect. So now we can just search for Ancient Spider, and we'll have all of the components we need to make the Ancient Spider, theoretically. So we'll go into the Ancient Spider unit, open up his prefab, get rid of the Ancient Mummy model, pull the Ancient Spider model on, reset its transform, make sure it's got no controller, and add a character animation event receiver, and apply that to the model. Pull the character unit down here, go up to the Ancient Spider unit, set its combat strategy to Ancient Spider, character name Ancient Spider. I'm just gonna leave him at undead for now so he doesn't fight with the nearby mummies. We'll change that eventually, though. We'll make like a faction for this dungeon. Character class name is Warrior. Unit profile is Ancient Spider, so he can learn his moves. Let's see if he has a head. He does not have a head, so let's go figure out what the closest thing to the head is. Wow, that's an interesting hierarchy. Let's see if I can find anything that looks close to a head. These are all boxes. They're kind of underneath him. Box 12 isn't bad. You know what? Perfect, right there. Dummy 11. Okay, so we're gonna just hit F2, copy dummy 11, and dummy 11 can be what we're gonna be staring at on his unit profile. So unit frame target is dummy 11, and it was Z forward, so I think Z of 1 is gonna be okay. Let's just take a look at his nameplate. I'll pull the nameplate up a little bit, have it hovering a little bit over top of his head right there. And let's see, we will need to set the default animation profile to Ancient Spider. And everything else looks okay. Alright, so then next thing that we want to do is just go fix all these things here. So Ancient Spider, we're going to lock the inspector, and then we're going to pull in all of these animations here. So he has 2 take damage clips, hit 1 and hit 2. He has a single idle clip. He has a single walk clip. Oh, you know what? Move forward fast clip. Maybe our mummy didn't have an out of combat move forward fast. You know what? It doesn't matter because he was already in combat by the time he was moving, so that had nothing to do with it. Okay. Set the move forward fast to this run, set the move forward to this walk, give him his single idle in the idle there, and then under the death clip, I think I like death 2 the best. I checked these out earlier. Okay, this looks good. Now let's just click on all these and just make sure we've got them set to the correct ones in that folder. And I didn't miss anything. Okay, perfect. So his animations are all set up. So now we go back to Ancient Spider. We unlock the inspector and look at his unit profile, change that to Ancient Spider. I don't think I have a spider icon. Oh, look at that, I've got a spider icon. Awesome, we'll be using that spider icon. The unit prefab is Ancient Spider Unit, and his learned abilities are Ancient Spider Attack and Ancient Spider Bite Attack. Then the combat strategy, Ancient Spider, he'll be using Ancient Spider Attack and Ancient Spider Bite Attack from 100 to 0. For the Ancient Spider Attack animation profile, we're going to lock the inspector, go down to the Fantasy Spider, and use Attack 1, unlock the inspector, go back up to Ancient Spider, and the attack effect is Ancient Spider Attack, and everything else looks okay. The animated ability is Ancient Spider Attack. Change all the titles here to Ancient Spider Attack. Animation profile is Ancient Spider Attack. Ability effect is Ancient Spider Attack. It's an auto attack. Then we have Ancient Spider Bite Attack. And the animation clip for that is the spider's attack 2. The attack effect is Ancient Spider Bite Attack. It's physical damage. It's going to do some extra. And the animated ability is Ancient Spider Bite Attack, Ancient Spider Bite Attack, Animation Profile, Ancient Spider Bite Attack, and Ability Effect, Ancient Spider Bite Attack. It's not an auto attack. Okay, good. That actually should get everything set up that we need for the Ancient Spider, and let me just make sure that I added all of the hit events to his attacks. So we'll look at hit 1 here, and we need to add an event because I didn't do that yet. No, oops, wrong one. Sorry, we want actually attack 1. There we go. Okay. Now we can add an event because we switched it from legacy to generic. So boom, right there is where we're going to do the hit. So add an event, call it hit, and apply that. Then go to attack 2. Boom, right there. Click plus, add a hit event, and apply that. Alright, because these are all generic, we can't bake in anything into the pose. Let me just make sure that his walk is set to loop. And we'll want to make sure that his run is also set to loop. And we'll want to make sure that his idle is also set to loop. And there's nothing else that we should need set to loop. And this is that death 2. Yeah, I kind of like that. He like falls straight down. In the death 1, he like flips upside down. I don't know. They're actually both pretty cool. Okay. I think in the future I'll want to add the ability to have multiple death animations in an animation profile, because that seems to be a kind of common thing. This looks good. We've got the spider unit. Now we just need to basically make some of the spawners actually spawn spider units. So we'll delete that guy from the scene. We'll go to the AI unit spawners. And let's just take a look through all of them and look at their position. So we've got this one over here. That's okay. We've got this other one over here. That's fine. We've got this one like floating in the air up here. That's not fine. So what we'll do is we'll actually just put one right there. So I'll middle click on the ground and Control Alt F, and that's better. Now we've got this other one right here in the middle of the hallway. That one seems okay. And we've got another one further down the hallway, and that one seems okay. Perfect. So we'll have basically a bunch of spiders and mummies, and then in the final room we'll have the boss. So let's save that. And now all we got to do is basically just go into the Temple of Ancient Energy spawner, add a second unit, and call it the Ancient Spider. Make sure it's dynamic level. That looks okay. Let's save that. And finally what we need to do is we need to actually end the quest. So I'm on a quest right now called Investigate, no, it's called Find the Missing Lunamex. Find the Missing Lunamex has one dialogue objective, a collapsed Lunamech. We will also have one kill objective, and we will need to kill one hostile Lunamech. We'll want to actually turn in the quest, and what I'm going to do is the quest will actually be turned in at this thing right here, this idle 1. So what I want to do is unpack this idle 1 prefab, and we'll make it into basically something that you can click on. To do that, we will add in interactable. We will add an inanimate unit, and we will add a quest giver. The quest giver will have one quest, and he will end the quest, and that quest will be find the missing Lunamex. For the inanimate unit, the unit frame target doesn't need to be anything. He's Z forward, so we'll set the camera position offset to a Z value of 1.5, and he's Y up, so we'll set the offset to 1. So basically we should be sort of looking down on his face like this. His display name will be let's call it the Mana Seal Controls. He will glow on mouse over, and everything else looks okay. His interactable name is going to be Mana Seal Controls. And in the quest giver, the interaction panel title will be Mana Seal Controls also. And that looks good. Let's save that. And now we should be able to hopefully turn in our quest for him after killing the hostile Lunamech. So now we want to go back to the load game manager. And we'll test this all out. Press play. Load up our Chapter 2 tester. Immediately get aggroed by a mummy. Zap him with a solar singe. Kill him. I noticed that we didn't get any spiders spawning here. So let's just take a look at that. So we have 2 unit profiles here with a max unit of 1. I may not have added randomness on the unit profiles. Let's just go take a look at that real quick. So you'll get a list of unit profiles, at which point you'll attempt to pick one of them to spawn. I think the spawn index is potentially wrong. So this is a random.range, and the outside one is exclusive, which means if our unit profiles count is 2, then the maximum number this could be is 1, but that's exclusive, which means it'll always be 0. So I think we need to remove that -1 there and save that. And let's try that again. Okay, that's way better. Now we have a spider. And same issue with the spider. Let's see. And he can do good. He's doing a bite attack. He's doing a normal attack. He's switching between them. That's pretty awesome. I'm pretty happy with this spider here. So we're gonna cast a solar singe on him, then a blinding ray. I'm gonna have to heal myself, hit this guy with a blinding ray, cast a warming ray on myself, blast of light, infuse light on myself, infuse light again. Alright, we're good, we killed him. Use a sunbath, now I'm healed up, perfect. Okay, and finally, let's go kill the hostile Lunamech at the end of the hall. Actually, let's see, did we get any more spiders? We did. You know what? I'm in the mood to go kill another spider. Let's go kill another spider. Alright, and singe this guy. Hit them both with a blast of light. Infuse light in myself. Cast this spell on them. Alright, good. Sunbath. And go kill the hostile Lunamech at the end of the hall. Let's see, we've got the Mana Seal controls. That looks good. We've got the hostile Lunamech. We'll zap him. Hit him with another spell. Cast a solar singe again. Good. We killed the hostile Lunamech here. Now we can go over to the Mana Seal controls. We can click on it, and we can finally complete the quest. Excellent. So I'm pretty happy with that. That pretty much covers everything that I wanted to do in this episode. We made a dungeon. The dungeon has some really cool background music. We have 3 varieties of enemies, and we can randomly spawn them. In the next episode, we'll be adding the ability to make switches in this dungeon. So what I want, for example, is that you'll have to go over here and click on this cross on the wall, and there will be no bridge here by default, and then the bridge will sort of come up from the floor, and we can actually make this into a really cool puzzle dungeon, because this is the kind of dungeon that looks like it just begs to have the people solve puzzles in it. So, as always, I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, then don't forget to thumbs up the video, subscribe to the AnyRPG YouTube channel, or just leave a note in the comments. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you next time.